Okay, so are you ready? Buckle up because this deep dive, oh man, this one is going to be wild.
Yeah.
We are talking about my Toddleverse.
Okay.
And,
I'm intrigued already.
right. I mean, have you ever heard of a band that's like Latin, reggae, jazz?
Not typically, no.
And it doesn't stop there. Groove, blues, dubstep, swing, and get this, even a little anime thrown in for good measure.
It's like they looked at the genre bingo card and said, we'll take the whole thing.
Right, they're not messing around.
No, not at all. I've got to say, though, this is a really interesting mix. It's not every day you see genres like, say, dubstep and swing even mentioned in the same sentence.
It's like they're trying to create a musical experience that defies categorization.
Exactly. And that's what makes this deep dive so fascinating.
Right.
Are they onto something completely new, or is this going to be a musical train wreck of epic proportions?
Only one way to find out, right?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, so before we get lost in the genre soup, let's meet the masterminds behind this musical experiment, shall we?
Let's do it.
We've got Abel on drums, Hector shredding it on guitar, Jean-Pierre blessing us with those vocals, and Alex holding down the low end on bass.
And this isn't some garage band, right? These guys have serious experience, each with like a decade in the music industry.
Yeah, this isn't their first rodeo, and you can tell they're confident, too, because their promo materials are full of, the typical contagious energy and versatility kind of descriptions.
But it hits differently in this context, don't you think? I mean, when you list that many genres, it kind of speaks for itself, you know?
It's like they're making a statement, like, we don't need no stinking genre labels.
And that's actually a really good point,
Yeah.
because it makes you wonder, what kind of impact could this have if they actually pull this off? Like, could this be the beginning of the end of genres as we know them?
Whoa, hold on. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We still haven't even heard a single note.
You're right, you're right. But you have to admit, it's a pretty mind-blowing concept. It really makes you question what even defines music these days.
It does. It really does. Okay, but let's not get lost in the philosophical weeds just yet. There's a very strategic element to all of this, too.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what I think is particularly interesting. This isn't just some happy accident. They're clearly very deliberate about everything they're doing.
Oh, 100%. I mean, talk about reaching their audience. They are everywhere. We're talking iTunes, YouTube Music, Spotify, Deezer, iHeartRadio. I mean, they are even on Amazon Music and Tidal.
It's like they're launching a full-scale sonic invasion, and no one is safe.
I mean, honestly, you have to admire the strategy here. I mean, if you are going to blend that many genres that appeal to such a wide variety of demographics, well, then you have to make sure that music is accessible to everybody, right?
Right. They're playing the long game. It's about more than just dropping a single. They're building a whole movement.
Right.
And speaking of movements, there's one last thing I have to ask about, and it's their tagline. Oh, the tagline, yes. Tell me, what did you think about "Ya comiste frutas y verduras"?
Okay, I have to ask. What is going on with that? It's like a non sequitur. Why? What does it mean?
Isn't it brilliant? It's so unexpected. You've got this crazy genre-bending music, this massive multi-platform release, and then bam, a friendly reminder to eat your veggies.
Right. It's like, wait, what did I just read?
Exactly. It makes you stop. It makes you think. It makes you want to know more. And that, my friend, is the sign of a brilliant marketing strategy. It's like they've got this secret ingredient nobody asked for, but now you can't imagine the dish without it.
Right, and it works. But okay, seriously, what's the deal with the veggies? Are they like sponsored by the produce aisle or something?
Probably not. Wouldn't that be something? This dubstep breakdown brought to you by Kale. Yeah.
Okay, see, now I need that album. But you're right, it's probably deeper than that.
Right. It goes beyond just the music, you know. This feels like, I don't know, almost building a whole vibe or a lifestyle, not just a band.
Like those artists that become cultural icons. They're not just singers, they're selling a whole aesthetic.
Exactly. And think about it. Their music is just the start. Then you've got the image, the message, the way they interact with their fans. That's what people really connect with.
So you could be looking at like a future where dubstep drops meet trumpet solos, all while promoting healthy living and maybe even, I don't know, world peace.
Hey, stranger things have happened. And remember all those articles we talked about? How the music industry's changing? Bands can't just rely on albums anymore.
Right, they have to be way more than that now.
Exactly. It's all about connecting with your audience on every level. And these guys, they seem to get that.
And how? I mean, their online presence, it's on point. Then you've got this music that's made for sharing. And that tagline, as weird as it is, everyone's talking about it. They've cracked the viral code before even releasing a hit.
It's kind of genius, actually. And honestly, it's really refreshing to see. The music industry can be so formulaic. These guys are like a breath of fresh air.
They really are. It's like they're playing 4D chess when everyone else is still figuring out checkers. So let's say, just for fun, this whole thing works, middle verse blows up, they're everywhere. What happens to the music scene?
Ooh, good question. What happens when a band throws out the rule book and says, genre? What genre? And then becomes massive. It kind of throws the whole system into question, doesn't it?
Right, like what does this mean for musicians who've spent years, decades even, mastering one specific style? Is that somehow less valid now?
Right, right. Or does it open up a whole new world of possibilities? Suddenly it's all about collaboration, experimentation, breaking down those walls. It's exciting.
No kidding. Though knowing music nerds, they'll be arguing about this for the next decade at least.
Oh, absolutely.
Hmm.
They'll be writing dissertations on the cultural impact of "Ya comiste frutas y verduras." It'd be wild.
I'd read that dissertation. But you know what? I get the feeling that My Tall Verse, they're not trying to give us all the answers, right?
No.
They want us to think, to challenge our own ideas about what music can be. I like that.
It's like they're saying, here's a musical Molotov cocktail, have fun. And we're all just standing here, lighters out, ready to watch the world burn. Musically, of course.
Musically, of course. But okay, real talk. While we wait for their music to drop, any advice for our listeners on how to prepare for this sonic roller coaster? Should we be stretching out our Spotify playlists, getting ready for anything?
Listen, you can never be too prepared for a musical experience like this, right? But in all seriousnness, I think this is a fantastic opportunity to explore the individual genres that Metalverse is pulling from.
So we've spent all this time talking about Mitleverse, right? Their whole vibe, the genres, the tagline.
Yeah.
But we still don't know what their music actually sounds like. It's kind of killing me, to be honest.
It's the ultimate cliffhanger. They've built up all this anticipation, this aura of mystery.
Yeah.
Now we just need the grand reveal.
Right. It's like when you were a kid, you get that present all wrapped up and you shake it, trying to figure out what's inside.
Oh, I used to drive my parents nuts doing that.
Me too. Except this time, it's not a toy truck or a doll. It's like, I don't even know, a sonic tapestry woven from reggae and dubstep and trumpet solos.
Don't forget the anime influences. We could get anything from a power ballad to a chiptune breakdown in the middle of a salsa groove. Who knows?
See, this is what I'm talking about. It's equal parts exciting and terrifying, you know?
Absolutely. Though part of me kind of loves the anticipation. It's like they're reminding us that patience is a virtue, especially when it comes to discovering something truly unique.
Or maybe they're just messing with us, seeing how long we can handle the suspense before we collectively lose it.
Oh, they're 100% messing with us.
Yeah.
Which, again, genius marketing. But speaking of discovering things, remember what we were saying about using this time to explore those genres they're blending?
Right, right. So like homework, we should be hitting the playlists, expanding our sonic palettes, all that jazz.
Exactly. Think of it as an adventure, like a musical treasure hunt. You never know what hidden gems you're going to find.
Ooh, I like that. So by the time Mitleverse drops their next track, we'll be fluent in, like, dubstep flamenco or something.
Imagine the bragging rights.
Yeah.
You'll be the hit of every party. Oh, you like reggae-infused polka metal. Let me tell you about the time I deep dived into Metalverse.
Okay, stop. You're going to make me spill my metaphorical drink. But seriously, that's what I love about this whole thing. It's about so much more than just one band, you know?
What do you mean?
It's about challenging ourselves, you know? As listeners, as music fans, to open our minds and really listen to things in a new way.
I love that. It's not just about the destination, it's about the journey.
Exactly. And who knows what we'll discover along the way? Maybe a new favorite artist, a genre we never thought we'd like, or maybe just a deeper appreciation for the sheer weirdness and wonder of music.
Well said. And on that note, I think we've done our part. We've explored the mystery. We've analyzed the strategy. Now it's up to Mitleverse to deliver the goods.
And to our listeners, we say this: embrace the unknown. Dive headfirst into the sonic rabbit hole. You never know what you might find on the other side. Until next time, happy listening.